Good morning. Thanks for joining me. So, I have a test that I'm taking this afternoon to become a certified construction specifier. Um, and so, I'm going to be studying most of the day. But before I get started, I was in the mood to do a reading about knowledge and self improvement, um, to maybe share some messages with other people out there. So um, I'm going to be using the Green Oracle, the Wildwood Tarot, and the Goddess Inspiration Oracle. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to get an overall energy to start with from the Green Oracle. Okay, I'm going to take these. So we have card number 4, Small Things. And then we have card number 33, Animals. So let's get some information about those in the book. So this is kind of interesting for the Small Things card. Sometimes ecology and nature are not just about big and great stuff. They can be about terribly practical things that may seem so naive in their own simplicity. Still, what we call green gestures may make a difference. And here's where I think it applies to what we're talking about today. A difference in the world may be, but first and foremost, a difference within ourselves. Because as soon as we make the effort to do one of those gestures, we will have put something in motion. We're telling ourselves that we are not powerless against the world and that we are here doing something for the world. And some of the meanings associated with the card. Every journey begins with a single humble step. Great and overwhelming things can be broken down into many approachable small things. Doing little is better than doing nothing. Embrace action and motion and let things come. And it is not necessary to make the difference in order to make a difference. So I feel like this is encouraging people to take that small step towards something you've been interested in learning more about. So card number 33, Animals. Let me turn to that right here in the book. So on this card, we've got a cat, a rabbit, a deer, an eagle, and a bear sitting in front of a fairy, and she's holding the wand of a music director. And it says, animals are very different from one another. Also, many animals are carnivorous and eat other animals. Nature, we know, can be cruel. It has so much death and suffering. What it doesn't have is evil. Animals cannot be evil because when you look at them, you cannot look at just a single action, but you look at them all together. The ecosystem moves like a melody or a dance. Some of the meanings attached to the card. People can be different and each have different qualities and give importance to different things. Action is key to change, and many voices need a single direction to sound as one, and there is a music in life. Okay, so this is about finding harmony and taking action. This is also about taking action, finding your place, that where you fit in, maybe finding your niche. Also, another thing is that card number 4, fours stand for stability, and then card number 33 is about mastery and teaching. So I think that's interesting too. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some tarot cards. Okay, so card number 4, the Green Man, popped up. He's the Emperor card in this deck. So stability, knowledge, boundaries, wisdom. That seems important. And we also have card number 4 from the Green Oracle. So what else do we have here? The Two of Arrows, Injustice. That was the first card that popped out. And then we've got the King of Vessels, the Heron. So like the King of Cups. The Page of Vessels, the Otter. And the Six of Bows, or Six of Wands, Abundance. Yeah, so the sense that I'm getting from this spread is that when you're making consideration about this next step that you're going to take, you should take into consideration maybe an injustice or something that needs to be brought to justice, something that you can pour your heart into, and something that will bring abundance to you and those around you. I also wanted to read a little bit from the Wildwood Tarot about this, the Green Man card, because he's major arcana. So The green man is a symbol of the flourishing heart of the male aspect of nature. So it's interesting, they talk about his heart, but we also have 2 vessels cards as well, which are cups are about the heart. His warning to respect the laws of nature and the beast of the forest are best heeded, the beast of the forest, as his challenge to those who abuse his generosity can be fierce and severe indeed. Yet his heart is great, and his spirit is warm and full of primal joy. His face is not yet hidden from those who can see through the thickly tangled fronds that encompass and enfold the earth. His bounty is rich and nutritious and soaked in the golden rays of a fertile summer sun. The green man is generous in his bestowal of creative, fertile energy, and he will move you to a new level of confident and assertive dynamism. This is a time for both giving and receiving the natural flow of life, both inwardly and outwardly. Be prepared to find a new and thriving drive to begin projects, relationships, and even new ways of living your life and fulfilling your world. Now is the time to experience being at the apex of the cycle of life. Enjoy it. So we're talking about starting new projects. Reminds me about the advice from these 2 cards, taking action. And I just want to read a little bit about the 2 of arrows too. Let me shut the door real quick. Okay. So for the 2 of Swords, false conclusions and unjust decisions based on disinformation, motivated by fear, greed, and prejudice, can cause innumerable problems. Either mistakenly or deliberately distributed to pervert the course of natural justice and the revelation of the facts by those who fear the truth and wish to manipulate the situation for personal control or gain, this propaganda will not survive honest, wise, and impartial scrutiny. In many worldly situations, the truth becomes hijacked and twisted to become a false message, designed to confuse and instill fear in those seeking clear insight. The wise seeker questions and tests false messages and discerns the validity of a harmful accusation. Perversions of the truth will always bring frustration and bitterness to the individual or group that deploys such dishonorable tactics. The perpetrator of lies and falsehoods will also be judged as an unreliable source, bent on mischief and destructive interference. For the victim of injustice, the best defense of the truth is always more truth. And this is the first card that flipped out, so I really feel like this is encouraging us to all be discerning and seek the truth and to see through any lies or deception in our pursuit of knowledge. I'm going to get a few cards from the Goddess Inspiration Oracle. The Zorsha, the guardian goddesses, be at peace. The divine feminine watches over you. We have Hera, the goddess of marriage. You can invite respectful relationships. And we also have Hathor, the golden one. Prosperity awaits you. Look for examples of it in action. Okay, so let me just check through the book real quick and see if there's anything here that stands out. So I think Hathor's interesting. From the earliest times, Hathor was petitioned for assistance in creating personal abundance, such as help with a love affair. Rituals also invoked the goddess for communal abundance, as in the creation of a generous harvest to feed everyone. Prosperity awaits you. Look for examples of it in action. So again, talking about abundance, seeking abundance for yourself and others. And then with this Hera card here, you can invite respectful relationships. I think that kind of ties in with this Two of Swords that popped up, and just being careful about who you are seeking this knowledge from and holding them accountable to be honest and cutting through to the truth. And then the Zorsha, guardian goddesses. The Zorsha are guardian goddesses of the sun, the universe, and protection. So they're a trinity of goddesses. And they suggest the strength and authority of the divine feminine everywhere. They bear responsibility for the earth's well-being. And they symbolize the 3 stages of woman, maiden, mother, and crone. So they're associated with cycles, and then protecting the earth. So there's a lot of messages here about protecting the earth. So I don't know if someone out there is interested in gaining more knowledge about how to help the environment, because that message does seem to be coming through a lot here. So that might be something for someone. Okay, I'm just going to get a couple of quotes and then I'll go ahead and close this out. We went a little longer than I thought we would. So we have a quote from BKS Iyengar, and it says, "The yogi opposes the evil in the wrongdoer, but not the wrongdoer. Opposition to evil and love for the wrongdoer can live side by side." So I feel like that's another warning message that's coming through about just being careful about where you're going to seek this new knowledge. Okay, I don't know how this ties in, but it says, "Oh, I offended you with my opinion? You should hear the ones I keep to myself." Patsy Cline. So, yeah, I guess it's about forming your own opinion and not being too worried about what other people think of you. So, I hope that there's some messages here for somebody, and encourage you to go out and learn about whatever it is that you're interested in, and just seek the truth, find stability and abundance. And I hope to see you again soon.